Hi, welcome back to EOP. I'm Lindsay Carson here with Ellie Fishman, who is currently playing Ellen on the national tour of Miss Saigon. Now, I saw Miss Saigon last night and I was blown away. You're so talented. The entire cast is very talented. It's a great show.
Yeah.
So it's also a very serious show.
Yes.
It's about the Vietnam War and like circumstances that came from it. Now, what's the atmosphere like backstage during a show like that?
I have to. It is a heavy show, and there are scenes where people have to have breakdowns on stage and give their all emotionally, and you have to find a way backstage to lighten yourself back up because this is our job. We have to do this every night. But the atmosphere, it's a really warm, supportive cast, and we're all kind of in it together. So even with the hardships going on stage, we find a way to have a light, friendly environment backstage for the most part.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, it's a really beautiful story, and it's a really important story to tell, but sometimes it's hard to tell it.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking, it's such a serious show that can sometimes have a toll on you, but it's really good that you guys support each other and are there for each other.
Yeah.
Like your character specifically has to deal with some really difficult situations and emotions. So when you get into that headspace, do you just flip a switch?
Every actor does it differently. I do, sort of. It's interesting, just because I am in like maybe 25 solid minutes of the show, and it's a 2-hour and 40-minute musical. So I have a lot of time backstage on my own, and I have to do some things to prepare. Like there's my biggest scene is right at the end of the show. So I, in my dressing room, like do push-ups and planks, and I just like try to find ways to keep my heart rate up because I've been sitting. But then I'm go in the wings and I talk to people and say hello, and then there's a moment before I walk on stage where I kind of step into it feels like a portal. It's like darker and there's a curtain behind you and you haven't reached the stage yet, so you're just in darkness, and I feel like it's a moment I step into like a time portal. And then once I'm there, I'm Ellen.
Yeah.
But some people need more time depending on your methodology or whatever, methodology or whatever for acting. I feel like I just need 1 or 2 deep breaths to lock in what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's good that you're able to do that.
Yeah.
And you're obviously, you've done this before. You've toured before. You were on the first national tour of Finding Neverland.
Yes, I was.
So do you find it hard to be away from home for so long?
With Finding Neverland, I was only on the road for 4 months. And that felt like as long as I was prepared to. I was like, yeah, that was a good 4-month stint. I'm glad it was only, because the tour closed. It was the end of the run. But being on the road longer, it's something about the fact that I know I'm on the road until the end of June when this tour closes. And because I have that finish line in mind, I just feel like it's a 9-month vacation.
Right.
And that from the moment I joined the tour, I knew I would be out for 9 months. But it is sometimes hard traveling every week, not having a home base. I think that's the hardest part. We luckily get some breaks in between, like every 8 or 6 weeks for the rest of tour, we get a week off.
Oh, that's good.
So we get to go home and see family or go on vacation or what have you. But it's the weekly travel that to me is the hardest part of touring, that is packing up everything on Sunday night and then unpacking everything Monday in your new space and then trying to settle in as fast as possible so you can just relax.
Right. I imagine it's hard to always be like go, go, go like that.
Yeah.
But you do get to see a lot of different cities. So what's your favorite part about seeing all these different cities?
I have to say I like going to cities I wouldn't have otherwise visited. Last week we were in Knoxville, Tennessee, and it was cute. It was this really cute city that had ice cream shops and a general store, and it was a smaller theater space, and Miss Saigon is a massive show, so it was kind of hard to squeeze our show into there, but we did, and it was a city I never would have visited otherwise, and I'm happy that I've seen it. I'm happy I got to go. So that to me is the cool part of this tour, Because visiting cities, I wouldn't, as a tourist, be like, gotta go there. Yeah, or like, I was born in Pittsburgh, actually.
Oh, wow.
So, and this is my first time performing here. I have some family still here, so I got to come back and visit family members just on, through the tour. So it's really a gift. You get to see really cool places. We were in New Orleans last week.
Oh, that had to be fun.
2 weeks ago. We were in New Orleans 2 weeks ago. It was really fun, and we all, you enjoy New Orleans, but you still show up to work, of course, because that's why we're here. It was cool, yeah. So I really like the aspect of learning new things about the country and feeling the flavors of different audiences in different cities, what they laugh at, what they don't laugh at, it's really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's to see different cultures.
Yeah. It's a very polarizing show in that there are some cities, not polarizing, but there are some cities that find these jokes hilarious and some where they're uncomfortable and quiet.
That's true, yeah.
It's always really interesting to see how the audiences react.
Something I found really interesting is how you have some really young cast members. You have a character in the show who's like very little, like 5. So what's it like working with people so young? Because your character interacts with them.
Yes. The most important part for both, so we have 4 TAMs. Actually, right now we have 5 because we're transitioning.
Yeah.
But they rotate. So they only do 2 performances a week as TAM, and then 2 performances a week where they're the bonus TAM, where there's just in case there's 2 kids backstage in costume, because you never know.
Yeah.
And they have a child wrangler who is with them. They have a tutor. They are friends with each other. They tour with us. And I think the toughest is for their parents who have to put their lives on hold and travel around. But these kids are so smart and kind and sweet. And if they don't fully enjoy being on tour, then they don't stay. They do their first couple months, and then if it's not what makes the child happy, they leave, which I think is really, it's important that we we only have kids on this tour who like doing it. We just got a new TAM who's, I think he starts performances this weekend, and he is so excited to be here, and just his smile is infectious. So it's just really sweet to see kids that are enjoying. It's playtime.
Yeah.
They're just having playtime on stage, and we get to be there with them and watch that.
Yeah.
It's really cute.
I know everyone in the audience last night really enjoyed Tam's bow because he was smiling so big and really happy to be there, and I'm happy that they're happy.
Tam's bow is always the best. It's always the biggest cheer. It's so funny. We all like do our bows, finish, and then Tam comes out and brings the house down.
That's true. Everyone loves a little kid.
Yeah, they're really cute. Kids and dogs, all right? Yeah. They always steal the show.
So you got a BFA from the University of Michigan.
I did.
And our school is a pretty big performing arts school.
Yes, yeah.
So do you have any advice for college students pursuing a career in theater?
I think that my biggest advice, what I would tell myself, is to have patience with myself. I definitely had, I'm doing very well, but I definitely had thoughts in my head when I was graduating school that it would happen faster, or I would be the one, the exception to the rule and take off right away. And it took me a couple years. There were some tough years in New York where it was a lot of auditions and good feedback, but no jobs.
Yeah.
And I just pushed through that because I believed in myself, and I had a team of people supporting me, and I'm so glad that I persevered. But you got to have the patience you have to let yourself take that time, settle in New York, find your things that make you happy that aren't performing.
Yeah.
Because it is tough, but it is also worth it when you push through. Yeah.
Well, I'm really happy that you pushed through and you found success because you were so good last night. My final question, I ask everyone this: what is your dream role?
I think my dream role is Mother in Ragtime.
Oh, wow.
Which I need another 10 years before I think I'm allowed to do that, but that's what I'm moving towards.
Well, that's good that
Yeah.
you have that
It's my goal.
to
Yeah.
work towards. So thank you so much
Thanks for having
joining me
me.
today. That's all we have on this week's episode of EOP. I'll see you next week. Bye, guys.